Your heart is more powerful than you think. I want to talk to you today about something that I think we massively underestimate, and that is your heart. And I'm not just talking about your physical heart. I'm talking about the intelligence of your heart. Because most of us have been taught to live through our heads. We think with our head. We always make the decisions from our head. We analyze with our head. We question everything within our head. We overthink. We look for evidence. We try to work everything out with our head. And sometimes we think ourselves into complete exhaustion. But what if there is another center of intelligence within you? What if your heart has been communicating with you all along and you've simply been too busy in this head, listening to the head, and you can't hear it? Because your heart is extraordinary. We know it pumps the blood. We know it keeps us alive. We know it creates that rhythm and the pace of our body. But so much research has shown that the heart is much more sophisticated than simply being a mechanical pump. It's got its own intrinsic nervous system. It senses, it processes information. It actually communicates continuously with the brain and the rest of our body. The electrical activity generated by the heart is incredibly powerful. The electrical signal of the heart is commonly described as being around 60 times greater in amplitude than the electrical activity measured from your actual brain. And the magnetic field generated by the heart, it can be detected outside the body. And it's been detected using highly sensitive scientific equipment. Now, I find that truly fascinating, because your heart isn't just doing something inside of you. It's generating a measurable electrical magnetic activity outside of you. And this is where I want you to think about something that many of us just call our energy, your presence, your field, or your aura, whatever language feels right for you, or whatever you call it, because we've all experienced it. You would have walked into a room and you can feel something. You meet somebody, and for the first time, and before they've even really said anything, you get a feeling about them. Someone can tell you, I'm fine, but everything inside you is saying, well, you're not, are you? We've all experienced that. And sometimes we just dismiss it. We say, oh, I'm just imagining that. Or I'm overthinking it. I'm just being silly. But you're not. Your body is constantly gathering this information. Your nervous system is constantly responding. Your heart is is constantly communicating with you. And sometimes your head, it just hasn't had time to catch up. So this is why I want you to start paying attention to your heart. Because your heart isn't just about emotion. It's a part of an incredibly complex communication system within your body and outside. And when we begin to understand that, we can begin to understand something really, really important, that your state matters. The way you think matters. The way you feel matters. The way you breathe, the way you respond to life matters. Are you responding or are you reacting? Because all of these things create a physiological change within you. Your thoughts create a response or a reaction. Your emotions create a response or a reaction. Your nervous system responds or it will react, and your heart responds. Your breathing changes, your body changes, and this is where being in alignment, the idea of coherence, becomes really, really interesting. What happens when different parts of you are beginning to move towards harmony rather than constantly fighting against each other? I want you to think about your own life. How often have you said, I know what I need to do, but you're not actually doing it? How often have you said, I want this, but inside you're saying, no, you don't. You don't want this. How often does your head say, right, it's time to go, let's go. But your heart is saying, absolutely not. Or your heart is saying, this is what I want. And your head then says, you can't have that. You don't deserve that. That internal conflict is something so many of us live with. And I know that because I've actually lived it too. So I want to share with you a little bit of my story, my own story with you, because this isn't just something I find interesting. It's something I've actually lived with. And I want to make this personal just for a moment, because this isn't something that I've simply read about or that I've just decided to talk about. I have actually lived it. I've been the woman who stayed in relationships that weren't serving me. I stayed in situations that weren't aligned with who I truly was. I've carried the stories, the beliefs, expectations, old narratives, and emotional patterns, things that had happened to me, things that I told myself about, that I was this person, things that I'd decided were truly, and I didn't realise how much energy I was using to fight against myself. My head would be telling me one thing, and my heart and my gut would be telling me something completely different. Somewhere deep inside, my body already knew the truth, but I wasn't listening until eventually I had to make a choice. I had to stop looking outside of myself for all the answers, and I had to come back inside within. I had to start listening. I had to start feeling. I had to start noticing where I was holding all of this resistance. And then I had to release it. I had to release the resistance. I had to release the old stories, the narratives, the beliefs that weren't serving the woman I truly was and who I was becoming. And when I started doing the work, everything began to change. I completely transformed my life. Not because somebody came along and fixed it for me, not because suddenly everything outside of me became perfect, but because I changed the relationship I had with myself. And that is a really important distinction, because I don't believe women need somebody else to tell them who they are. I don't believe we need to spend our whole time looking outside of ourselves for permission. And I certainly don't believe that I have all the answers for you. But what I can do is guide you back towards yourself, because I know what it feels like to lose yourself. I know what it feels like to put everybody else first. I know what it feels like to stay because you're frightened of what might happen if you leave. And I know what it feels like to finally say, enough. I'm coming back to me. That changed my life. And every morning now, I check in with myself. I ask my energy a question. I ask what's being brought to me through my head, my heart, and my Hara. And those three centers, I ask, are they in alignment? Your head, your heart, and your Hara. 3 places of pure awareness. And when they begin moving in the same direction, you feel it. You feel the difference. You begin to move through life differently. And we will explore that. I'm going to share that with you. I'm going to show you how I use these 3 centers and my inner compass, because you already have yours too. You have the power within you. I'm just going to show you and guide you of how you can tap into that. So now you know you hold the power within. Now you can use your inner compass. So you also know that your heart is communicating with you. Your body is communicating with you. Your head, your heart, and your Hara, they can give you different information. And you know now you have a tool, your inner compass. So let's stop talking about it and let's actually start using it, because this is where it becomes really simple. Something comes up. It could be a thought, a feeling, a decision, a relationship, a situation, a belief, a dream, a fear, whatever it is. Just pause Take a breath. Come into your body and ask yourself, ask your energy a question. Does this serve me for my greater good? Then allow your energy to answer. Allow your body to give you a yes or no answer. Don't argue with it. Don't negotiate with it. Don't start making a list of reasons why it should be yes when your body is saying no. Just notice. And if it's a no, ask. What am I holding here? What is the story? What is the belief? What is the fear? What expectation? What am I still carrying? And then, am I ready to release this? You don't need somebody else to tell you. You don't need another course. You don't need another book. You don't need another podcast. You can have the conversation with yourself. And this is where I know we underestimate ourselves so much. We're constantly looking for the next thing that's going to change us. We're searching the latest breathing exercise. We're searching for the latest meditation, the latest sound bath, the latest retreat. And I love all of those, and they are beautiful add-ons to your energy to give yourself some time back. Use them, enjoy them, let them support you on your journey. But don't mistake the tool for true transformation is the energy you have within you. You can connect in nature. Meditation will help you become still. Breathing exercises will regulate your system. But what are they going to, how are they going to create some space? What are you going to hear when you become still? Are you going to keep hearing this narrative? What are you finally willing to release? That's the work. And this is where the chatter then comes in. And here's where it gets interesting, because the minute you decide you're going to do something differently, the narrative will probably arrive. The old narrative. What? I can't do that. That's not for me. Oh, this is all too woo-woo. I don't understand it, so I'm not going to do it. I don't know the words, so it's not going to work for me. What will people think? And the most common one, I don't have the time. I'll do it tomorrow. I've always been like this. I've just got to get over myself. And I want you to notice something. You don't have to fight that voice anymore. You just ask your energy, does this thought serve me for my greater good? Is it a yes? Keep it, enjoy it, run with it. If it's a no, I encourage you to release it, because you have a choice. You can believe the chatter, or you can observe it. And there is a huge difference. Because if you keep listening to the same story, you keep creating the same patterns. And if you don't take the step you will simply continue the same thoughts, the same reactions, the same relationships, the same patterns, the same energy, the same narrative, until one day you decide, I'm ready for something different. And that doesn't mean you have to change your entire life tomorrow. It might simply mean taking that one different step today, one honest conversation with yourself, one boundary, one decision, one energy release. It could be a yes, just one yes, one no, one moment where you actually choose yourself. That's how change begins. And I would love to invite you, if you're listening to this and something inside of you is nudging you going, oh, I want to know more. I want to work with my energy. Maybe that's worth listening to, because perhaps you've been feeling that it is time for something different for a little while now. Perhaps you're ready to reconnect with yourself. Perhaps you're curious about your feminine energy. Perhaps you're ready to slow down the forcing and start listening. And if that's you, I would love to invite you into my women only school community. It's a space where we can explore this together, a space for women to pause, to reconnect, and to explore their energy without any judgment, to have conversations they're perhaps not having anywhere else because somebody else's opinion keeps being dropped in. And I generally feel this is such a beautiful time to step into that energy at the moment. But you don't have to come knowing anything. You don't have to be spiritually minded. You don't have to be woo-woo. You don't have to understand the language. And you certainly don't have to have it all figured out. I invite you just to come as you are, because maybe the first step isn't believing everything that I'm saying. Maybe the first step is simply becoming curious. What if? What if I listened to myself? What if I trusted my body? What if I released the old stories? And what if I stopped asking everybody else what I should do? What if I actually have more power within me than I realized? You don't have to know the answer. You just have to be willing to explore the question. I have one last question for you. So before you leave this video, I want you to ask yourself, put your hand over your heart, take a deep breath in and ask, what is my inner compass trying to tell me right now? Is it asking me to, is it going forwards? I want you to ask your inner compass. Your energy is always communicating with you. Your heart is communicating with you. Your body is communicating with you. Your mind is communicating with you. And you do have the ability to listen. You have the ability to choose. And you have the ability to release and let go. And you do have the ability to step into something new. You don't need to see the whole road. You just need to take the next step. If something resonated with you, please like, share, subscribe, and come back next week where I'll be sharing more about energy and how you can incorporate it into your life. I'd love to see you inside my school community. Have an amazing day.